Ladies and gentlemen, guys, gals, and non-binary pals, welcome back to ETF2L Season 50. We've made it to Week 4 of Premiership, and tonight we have the Bloodsail Buccaneers looking to cause a bit of an upset, prove their worth against the dirty maggots. My name is Wandem, tonight joined by Ben PL on production, and then I've got Domato here alongside me to take me through this game. Domato, how are you doing tonight, sir?
I am doing hopefully as well as those two teams coming just on time in this wonderful Metalworks map, as they have also some deathmatch fights there on the pregame to practice for. But you've said it. I will introduce maybe quickly the picks and bans. The Bloodsail Buccaneers banned Bagel, and then Dirty Maggots banned Product. After what Dirty Maggots said, you know what? Metal works for us. So we start out on Metalworks, then Bloodsail Buccaneers banned Process. And you know what? When
I'm so
they
excited.
picked Prolands. That's fantastic, man. I mean, yes, they also just banned Process, so basically Prolands was there to be theirs. But we're finally here. We're back in 2017.
I am so excited for this. I actually have not been able to catch the game that we had with the Witness versus the Frenchies over the weekend. Witness versus Full Fence. They also played Badlands there. But yeah, no, this is a map that I feel like I've been campaigning to get back into the map pool for ages. To finally see it back, I'm very excited. I'm super excited to see how it plays. I know the last is a lot different to what we used to have in the past. And that's going to be really interesting. It's opened up a lot, right? And so that allows for a lot of different strategies. The cap time isn't super fast like it also was in the past, but should still be very interesting to watch. I'm so excited to come back home. But Domato, before we go all the way to Badlands, rather, we have to start up on Metalworks. It's a more standard map, right? This is a map that we're used to seeing. And yeah, how are you feeling about Metalworks for these two teams?
I mean, that is a wonderful segue comment to introduce what is also a cardboard, just talking points for me. And both of those teams, or at least wait, Bloodsail Buccaneers, they did not play in their official matches so far. Neither Metalworks nor Prolands. They beat 6-0 Aragosta in week 1, lost versus Witness Gaming 6-0 in week 2, maybe expected, and then tied it out 3-3 versus Pine Gaming in week 3. But they played in neither Metalworks nor Prolands in all of those matchups, and the Dirty Maggots tied versus Forfans, won 6-0 versus Pine Gaming, and had a 6-0 win versus Aragosta, and there they won 5-0. But maybe they would have arguably also won on different maps. My biggest prediction here is Dirty Maggots just picked Metalworks to have some more actual influential practice on it, and it is obviously their map pick. So I'm trusting Premiership gamers to know what they're picking. So I think Dirty Maggots want to prove their worth here.
Yeah, I'm super excited. I actually think this game is going to be quite close to Mito. This is a Bloodsail Buccaneers team that I actually think looked really, really solid. Very, very nice performance in their matchup last week. And I think like for them now, it's about proving themselves that they can sort of hang with the big boys. There's sort of I think a very obvious established top 3 in Prem, at least from the onset. And I think it's up for the Bloodsail Buccaneers to maybe cause some damage, perhaps on a map where you press tab, and most of these people on the server right now haven't really been playing that much the last time Badlands was current, and that makes me quite excited. This is going to be good, but I think Metalworks is a little bit more common. I think the last time I remember Voxy playing Metalworks in an official, if you ignore his official that he lost to Aragosta last season, he ended up winning a LAN off of it. So we'll have to see if he can continue the success forwards. Once again, this is ETF2L Season 50, brought to you by Manco Store. We are in week number 4 between the matchup between the Bloodsail Buccaneers and the Dirty Maggots here. Rolling out on Metalworks map 1, Prolands coming up afterwards. But it's KN already on mid, trading spam with Leth here.
It is Dirty Maggots Demo Man being a bit slower there, honestly, but ultimately a GG Joe that is also known beforehand. Mac, however, is falling. Not only was he faster to the mid, he's also faster to the respawn queue, I suppose. Pickets now being bombed concurrently and consecutively, so the one that will fade away rocket, but the collapse comes in right now on the Reds.
Really, really nice bomb coming out there. Super nice salvage play just coming in, but look at this. It's a super, super fast app trying to go in, and the Boxy follow-up gets the kill there onto Doey, and suddenly the salvage play onto another salvage play? What a weird mid, Domato.
We didn't really have so much time to catch our breath before to open a tab and look at those rosters. We have Dohi here on the side of the Bloodsail Buccaneers. Usually Eon was their main medic, but then we also have Mac, basically first to mid, first to four on the Demo Man class, Bloke and Sylphs topping the charts there on the soldier classes, and Sail and Juno being on the scout classes. Maybe we introduce their opposition as soon as that happens, but you see 100% Uber advantage for Pickles, trading to the sideway alley side of Living.
Yeah, this is slowing the game down a little bit. Pickles has a bit of an advantage. You can see that the Maggots are kind of playing around alley, looking to sort of send in a soldier sack, trying to take some early space, getting a Uber now. It's only on 70%, and that means the aggression is just going to come right forwards. A lot of spam. It's going to shoot them out and actually kill onto left as the Uber's popped already.
I'm chasing, though, still chasing to the last. A double soldier bomb can maybe eviscerate them, and some more players already. Second is being kept concurrently as we speak. 100% now on Dowie and Sail. They have to clean them up all, since 2 seconds still needed here to have some sort of respawn. They're still chasing into the lobby. GG down for the count, and it's the medic here in peril. Ultimately, Sail set sail into the frag material distance.
Oh, Foxy's just in onto last, and he finds the follow-up. This is like a one-man sack coming in one after the other. It's a lot of Maggots players joining forwards there to get that kill onto Dowie, but they managed to find the salvage frag. Players are up with Pickles as well. It is going to just leave Voxy in behind here on second. But look at this. Aggression just comes right back in here on second.
So much damage just by a single soldier bomb. Honestly, Jordi is still into the dumpster, almost thrown there. They ultimately clean those players up, though. 3 down. Jordi lives after all of the scuffle went down. And the Reds haven't even kept the second point, which leaves this last open for a repush. 3 players still on a 5-second spawner.
Such nice heads-up play here. Look at this. The Dirty Maggots are just in on last, but this is an early kill to Jordi here. It's left quite low as well, but he's just not on the point. That is massive aggression coming out from the DMs there.
Pickles has always been complimenting his own playstyle there. Maybe not what you want in the chat, but ultimately it's nets him and his team a 1-0 lead. And what we saw on the mid-fight, Mac going down early, so the Dirty Maggots basically won that mid-fight from that point on starting. Then both medics being traded 2 consecutive times. Ultimately, though, the repush out from the Bloodsail Buccaneers definitely cost them deftly, and that's a 1-0 lead for the Dirty Maggots.
Rolling back onto mid here, both teams once again opting. It is a super early mid from left and really shutting down KN now. Lots of damage dealt. This is going to take down the Maggots a little bit. Very early soldier bomb coming across from Jordi as well. Trying to get some kind of early picks, but he's just going to get denied. Now KN just left up onto the point, has the bomb forwards, but left with the flank. Now the soldier bomb's coming in. Huge pincer maneuver here from the side of the Bloodsail Buccaneers as they clean up house. Dowie, though, still alive. 3 up. Both scouts. Boxy's going to run in behind KN, waiting for a pack, and they can keep pressuring here. They want to get this kill into Dowie.
It was very interesting. Dirty Maggots had 2 soldiers basically fake bombing 24/7, but ultimately was Sylphs committing. Now it is, though, the Bone Man as he's tagged up here. KN committing, and F tries to find a manage that was previously damaged. Mac shows him the taunt ultimately, though, and this mid-fight was basically won for the red team by the sheer fact that their soldiers committed much more prominently, especially the blue demo falling down there to the bottom.
Super nice mid-fight there from the side of the Bloodsail Buccaneers. I really like the way that Left played that. So aggressive early on. Really nice spam onto KN, and that just shuts down the momentum on the mid entirely for the Dirty Maggots. Now they end up losing the fight. They almost have Uber, though. This is the Bloodsail Buccaneers. They have to go right now.
The BB is charging in here as I'm abbreviating Bloodsail Buccaneers, but some bloodshed might be enabled here as no, the repush comes in onto a heavy weapons guy, glowing instead, and Juno is not in server anymore, also left pounded into the sky. It's a 3k ultimately alongside those splash damage classes. They smash this front on the last and are concurrently trailing out. It's an even Uber situation, and they only are going to delay left spawn. I think, yes, indeed.
This is now a bit of a weird situation here for the side of the Buccaneers. Sat back on middle as no aggression really is going to come out from the Dirty Maggots either. I think there was a world where the mid setup isn't quite there and you can push out forwards, but instead now we're down onto an even Uber that situation, right? Both teams sitting at about 80% now as you can see the Bloodsail Buccaneers sort of edging forwards towards alley. Huge bomb from KN and just shuts down Dowie. Massive sync. He actually lives well. That's disgusting.
I was watching him earlier and I was like, okay, that's a nice bomb. There's no way he gets anything. He gets a 2K and then he gets out. That's absolutely criminal. And now they're even more trending forward here. Is Dowie still down for the count? Maybe they can retake this left onto the combo. But Pickles alongside with a GG Joe. That is, they do serve that out. There's a backcap shenanigan, but might ultimately be stacked out on the mid.
Yeah, unfortunately, just no one there to really block on mid either. So this is going to leave Sail behind enemy lines, and they're gonna know he's there as well. This is also a pick to work with. You can see them aggressing already into alley. No big soldier bomb from the enemy side. This is going to allow this Dirty Maggots team to take control of the second point. You see Sail now tries to go for a play, but unfortunately it's just shut down. Doesn't get out. This is now pick advantage to work with. Pickles has an ubercharge advantage, but is 80% for Dowie here as well. Sniper from Junu, staving off early aggression, but you can see the Dirty Maggots. They're taking lobby already. I don't think they can push off this, but they're maybe looking to try to anyway.
They definitely do, because without Sail, it's only the Blood Buccaneers left. Eventually, though, Jordy takes a pipe right into his face, and bloodshed early was drawn, though, on the blue side for DM, as I'm going to abbreviate Dirty Maggots. So DM versus BB here. Sylphs ultimately cult 100%. Still in the gears, they tried something there. An aggressive volley did not ultimately work, and it might end up helping the BB team here to push out. It's a trade on the second.
This is a decent trade, you know, you're stacking in forwards, but Dowie milking so hard. Ends up popping there at the very end. I actually think Dowie could have helped that. The spam ended right as he popped the Uber, so now you do end up trading Ubers. You send in a 3-man sack, don't quite get it. Bait the Bloodsail Buccaneers into coming forwards, right? Trying to make that push happen. Just taking that scout trade on second, and that's going to allow now. Ubers are neutralized. Neither team has, and you can see already, the Dirty Maggots now sitting in alleyway once again, looking for some kind of opening. Jordan already bombing forward, just trying to get this kill on the left, misses the rocket. And I think this is going to shut down the aggression for now. KN also not able to get in. And this is a pick advantage here. The Bloodsail Buccaneers looking to push.
GG being scuffled out by the Sylphs soldier on the side flank. Sail has already claimed the forward ground here. If you look on the blue roof that connects to the midpoint, but they do cut their losses back out of there. Pickles had a 10% Uber advantage, nothing really to budge off or to even be a recalcitrant enough for the enemy team, but it's a 1-0 lead for DM here, and the game might slow down progressively as we're eyeing toward a next suicidal wave attempt, I'm guessing, out of DM.
Yeah, now comes the classic question of how do you break a Metalworks second? The obvious answer is just a soldier sack in through alley. To see Jordy already positioned across. KN nowhere near in house though. Support any kind. It's just a single soldier sack in onto Dowie, and he surfs quite well. It's a follow-up bomber. No, he might just barely doesn't get it, but does manage to get the force. This is huge now for the Maggots. You can see how far Pickles already backing off. Uber charge squarely in his hand, and is now for the Bloodsail Buccaneers. Forces Uber as fast as you can.
KN had wonderful position here, but they make landfall through their own choke area, and let's see, it is Voxtech, it is GG, it is the Troika of Doom. Can they eviscerate some more players? Mac though being kept alive by a wonderful bolt from his own medic, and now it's very weak HP bars here on the Maggots, and that might bar them on this midpoint for 1 or 2 additional seconds, which means the Bloodsail Buccaneers can cut their losses, walk out of there once more. They lost 1 to 2 Frey players, and it's a 10 to 20% Uber advantage. Nothing really to budge off once more.
Yeah, I think if this is a different map, maybe like a Gully Wash or something, you probably could have pushed through a choke on the 20% ad. But there's just, look at how far back the Maggots are standing, right? You can see already, though, they are going to try to peek this, the Buccaneers, sort of walking into their own valley, and there's no one really immediately to counter it. There's some stickies on a rock, and they're going to rotate over, actually trying to just take the trade on the middle. Uber's coming through here.
Such a wonderful fast skip bump here, and still forces the Uber. Mac in the lobby claimed 1 frag for himself, and now they're shattering this offense here of the enemy team, trying to re-peek and refight this mid-fight. They have no business of staying in for any further time. KN is still chasing. Jordy though falling, so only 1 soldier left on the field. Voxtech also down. It's a 3-2 trade.
Such a weird little fight there. The early Uber coming in, feels like you're pushing out for the sake of pushing out, trying to maybe catch the Maggots off guard, but they know what's about to happen, right? They know they're a slight Uber disadvantage, build it up, have an Uber off their own, but you can see now, I think the Buccaneers, they know that maybe their respawners are a little bit better. There's no real Maggots in forward, but the bomb from KN once again nukes the enemy side, and they have to back off here.
I mean, you want your soldier, honestly, to shoot the medic down, but he shot also mech down, he shot also Sylphs down, so much damage by one singular soldier, and it is though Voxtech, KN, and Jordi falling in the end. That's a very easy mid capture.
I'm surprised they managed to sort of keep that push going. That's so much damage dealt, but the rest of the Dirty Maggots not really in position. These bombs from KN so far this game have been absolutely huge. This time around, though, just a scout trade onto the point. Juno eating a lot of damage, actually ends up falling now. This is Doey with an Uber, has to pop it, and this is not a good position.
That was very interesting. I'm 100% certain though that Pickles called for them to stay in. Meg is piped a little bit in mid-air. They're attenuating their own progress on pushing out even further. And Pickles really had the call for them to stay in. Juno was surprised by that entire passage of play working, but the upkeep was quite costly for their own compatriots. GG, Voxtech, and Jordi on the midpoint. We are slowly creeping up toward the mid benchmark on the timer, and it is 1-0 lead for Dirty Maggots. Looking sometimes a little bit fickle on pushing out. Now Ubers are set in a parity state.
Really early aggression here from KN, straight in through house before the enemy has any chance to set up some kind of hold onto second. And that's going to let Jordi sail all the way in onto lower. Sail, wind gone. As Sills now taken down as well. 2 players down on for the Bloodsail Buccaneers. So they're going to force B-Force onto last, and this is a tiny advantage. Very, very small. I don't think he'll be pushing off of it. If anything, I think now the Maggots, they're just going to be looking to send in some kind of sack. You see KN already setting up on this far side.
Sail commenting on the fact that he might but there was a little wonderful rocket into mid-air, and KN is maggoting straight back into that respawn queue, creeping up through the muck, and welcome to the respawn for 1 more second. But honestly, Sail was stuck there. It was basically all on Jordi, opening this up all for his boys. It is a roamer, it is what you expect, but it seems to be the solo Jordi show and shore for the most part of it. You see though, Meg is plastering his chokes with stickies, and Juno is on the sniper class.
Yep, up on the sniper. Voxy, the sniper as well, just responding, I think now. This is a bit of a weird defensive sniper, right? Because you can't really get any major angles onto the enemy medic unless you get some kind of crazy peek, but he's going to spot out the enemy sniper onto Voxy. You see immediately Doey running in under the bridge, and this makes it really difficult to get this shot onto Doey. Bar a hero shot through either side. Setting up already, you can see, but there's a very nice headshot from Juno, winning the sniper battle. It's going to shut down the aggression. And so now the Dirty Maggots back on it to second, and they're going to wait for their respawner. Everything's pretty chill. No warning signs yet. It's still 3.5 minutes left on the round timer before we reset, go back to mid. But I think at some point, right, you're down a round here for the Buccaneers, and there's now only 16 minutes to play for. You're going to have to start making some kind of move. The sniper very defensive, right? You're completely banking on either the Maggots making some kind of push in and failing it so you can push out, or just running it back to mid here.
We're still in around a reset territory though. It's a bonk though coming out of a Max. Sills was checking in the spawn before, by the way, on Spy, whether or not any sniper ammunitions come out of Voxtech. Once more though he spawns. The soldier is a bit longer in than what was healthy there almost for Piggle, for Doey rather. Juno also down very low on HP. Sail shows with the shotgun on Engineer. He's as lethal with it as on Scout with the scatter gun. Juno responds in kind with the sniper rifle, and now Piggle is a bit trapped in here out of position while he's peeking from the shutter, the sniper that is.
Yeah, it's a nice little peek there coming in, but I wonder if it's really that much to work with. It's another kill onto Sylvs now, though. So we're losing players on both sides, but this is nice aggression. You can see how far back Pickles is sitting, still sitting under the point, making sure cannot get headshot by Juno. So Juno dying is going to spell the end of the aggression. Sylvs down as well. This is 2 players down, and you can see this is aggression from the Dirty Maggots coming in, but losing a player immediately.
Basically though, trading 1-1, but it's still 3 down here, Sylphs and left end. Also, Mac very low on HP, though he has to use on the demo so he doesn't lose any more players. They were stricken down by the enemy team, and now it is strictly speaking, Sail onto the enemy medic. Cannot find salvation though. You cannot spell Sail without ale, and maybe some ailment was needed. Piggle snucking out 100%, still in the bag.
Yeah, this is huge advantage here for Pickles. Makes it out life intact. Massive 2k there for KN. Completely shutting down the aggression and sort of getting that force out onto Pickles. doesn't come through, and this is now netting Pickles. Massive 50% advantage here, but they're going to have to cover a lot of ground if they want to get another round win with this. You can see Sail actually already building up a gun on last, so the Buccaneers really don't believe in this that much, but it is an Uber coming straight in onto GG here. Doesn't really find much of anything. 1 kill to left. This is a trade you take any day of the week for the Buccaneers. 90% already on their own pick. It is Jordan. Some kind of a flank. KN as well, and this is weird now for the side of the Buccaneers. They're pulled apart a little bit.
I mean, decent play there from Jordan, honestly, since you could already see that Dowie was thinking about kickstarting their own campaign. They were so close in their lobby, still would have 100% used Uber very aggressively, since you see now they want to reconvene in the lobby before they had to deal with Jordan, but it nets and narrows down. 50% down, they use already. Meg is chugging in the air, 1-5, GG down though. GG D'Agostino says we are back into the...
It's just like a last second there. KN and Foxy just find an angle through. There's one scout to block them in Sail, but he's just not there in time. Huge play there from them, just finding the angle. I did not see how they managed to wrap themselves in. But yeah, that has this thing there for the Buccaneers.
It's also very interesting. I mean, Buccaneers, or rather, sorry, it was the other way around. The MAGGOTS made less out of a full 100% Uber ad push on the second than what they did with a dry fight and then sending Jordy in. But the follow-up aggression definitely helped them also to snap 1 or 2 players within this fray in behind, because the Bloodsail Buccaneers lost 2 to 3 players idly there on the flank. Now GG already shot down. Solo on HP, left Kratos, though Voxtech is patrolling his own top area, and once more the double scout unleashes here on Sail, who's completely in alone and trapped out of the yard. And it's so much focus fire which nets them this very aggressive win on the mid.
That's a super nice mid play there. It's one sort of fall-off kill onto Af, but that's completely fine, right? They Wind not really taking out that much out of their Sails, so you can kind of sit back at least for now. Midpoint is capped, even Ubers, but with this singular kill coming through, it looks like that the MAGGOTS are looking to kind of pressure forward, send in a Jordan, try to get some kind of a pick here. Joe's playing a weird underneath angle as well, and he's going to end up backing off. I think maybe we're putting all of our eggs into a sack in once again from probably Jordan. He's currently being buffed up to 300. Going to go in through Ali. I wonder, this time around, is it successful? We are paused.
We are paused. Our pulse might increase. That is apparently how you can play this. It's also interesting maybe to look at how they're all set up. Very cookie cutter as well. We have one scout on the fence, not even figuratively, also metaphorically sitting on the fence, looking what side an enemy player wants to snuck in. He's basically watching all of it. The rest of the players, the compatriots, they team up on their own bridge area. You have to really just pump 300 HP into Michael, and then Jordan can fly in and maybe dunk some more players. It's interesting though. Do you think it is really working? I mean, Jordy did a lot. It is what it is needed to bust open one, and I guess you can't really argue with the 2-0 lead that they have already gathered.
Yeah, this is it's a decent start. I think it kind of, one thing is like you sack in your soldiers and you're going for the medic, but like the ability to play off the space that bomb in creates, right? Like even if you actually don't get the medic kill, you force the enemy team so far back onto their own second. We are on pause now. I think we might be getting an answer to our questions quite soon. You can see Jordan already pushing up through alley. We're gonna send this forwards right soon. No,
maybe tiptoeing around it, tiptoeing around, making a decision. That was a double soldier spam, obviously, that deterred them from pushing out any further. But now Jordan is trying to make landfall, only creates another opening though, but nothing really consequential is found as we model another stalemate.
Yeah, so we're just gonna sit back for now, right? No harm, no foul. But ball kind of very much in the Bloodsail Buccaneers court here, right? They need to kind of do something. It's 10 minutes left now and they're down a couple rounds. On a map like the Metalworks, you're seeing right in front of your eyes how grindy this map can be. It's a really nice sort of little bomb in from Jordan, but an equally nice sticky there from Matt. Just shuts him down. It's kind of a non-committal bomb. It doesn't matter. Managed to find that kill anyway. This is going to open the door. I think the Buccaneers are looking to push here.
Especially because GG can't have traps set up since he had to prong himself out of there. Also only lives on 20 HP, being perpetually shot those so low on HP. So he has to focus on keeping himself alive. Wonderful skip jump from Sylphs, forces that Uber concurrently. Pickles going down to around 30 HP, and now it's a repop, it's a rebomb. So much damage being plugged into a very confined area. Pickles is the first one to fall. Now the double scout chariot, they might clean up. Voxtech still causing a little bit of a hassle down in below of the point. They lose nothing with that push and they fight everyone off.
It's KN in behind, causing a little bit of chaos, managing to find that singular kill onto left, as this is where we were paused. But now getting back into the action, this is one player in behind, everyone else dead, right? They get the cap, so no one's in the forward spawn, and the MAGGOTS squarely behind. Down a little bit of Uber disadvantage as well, but they have this KN card to play. This KN card to work with. Is he's going to sit back, wait for Leth to spawn, and Leth is knowing as well. He knows he might get spawn capped. So now you can see the classic MGE player play, where both player sits in their own little corner, AFKs, and now finally Leth just commits. KN hears the bombing comes across. That means that he can move. This play take a little bit of time to set up, but I would not be surprised if the Buccaneers... No, they can't go for some kind of dot push, right? They would have been going by now instead. Finally taking lobby. You can see Sail hanging back a little bit on second, trying to spot out that play from KN, but I think instead we're going to set up some kind of trade.
They're still going. Either way, strap in you land lubbers as the Bloodsail Buccaneers are punting through. It's still a 9% Uber advantage. Let's see if that is enough. Sentinel is now turned into metal balls, and Dowie though suffers from the bomb. They all collapse here. It is also Dowie falling in the follow-up aggression. It was the dot push. Left is still hiding, by the way. Left is still hiding on last.
Ooh. Do they know? Clearly not. My binds don't work either, so I can't like... Oh, there we go. I found him.
Oh,
he's in behind. Gets the first rocket there onto Jordy, but there's too many players. Fortunately, not healthy enough. He doesn't get the 1v2, so left with a nice little back cap. Attempt. Doesn't get anything, but this is honestly... It's not that bad, right? It's a 10-15% disadvantage, but there's no players on second. Instead, KN just get jumped on that. Trying to get in onto middle. Instead, just gets pushed up.
KN had wonderful surfs though, so he doesn't get mid-air piped and then put into the frag movie. It's still scuffled on this mid-fight here when Voxtech is falling, and that might help the red team to assemble some sort of order back into it. It's also a high bomb here into the valley.
A lot of damage dealt, but unfortunately no really further kills actually being found.
Pincer.
We're wrapping. This is so weird, Tomato. DM are being forced out of their own second, as now they have to sort of aggress onto their own point. He's canned in from behind, but he eats so much damage there as Mac completely nukes them. Uber can come out, but now Dowie has a counter Uber to respond, and Sail just wants this.
Sail just wants this, and they have such a much longer Uber duration. They haven't kept the second point yet. Might collect piglets into their own inflated rocket. Also have to deal with GG in behind. Some wonderful stickies plugged forward. Mech falls, Sail as well. So it's a double scout now versus Soldier. It's a hard counter for a reason. Kratos ultimately left is falling. And also, Dowie joins.
It's a bit of just miscommunication there from the Buccaneers. Has to be, right? You can see the call left bombs in, but that's Dowie trying to run away. Doesn't have another player to get him out, and that just means that one player goes in, ends up bombing a scout. You know how that goes in the year of our Lord. And then unfortunately, no one's there to protect Dowie anymore. And that's a super, super late death on your medic. You have a massive advantage there to try and push with, but now it's going to net Pickles a solid 30%. And with 2 rounds up already, 7 minutes to go, the MAGGOTS really, all they have to do is sit back on their second and chill. And you can see the Buccaneers, they know this, they're pushing right back in.
Meg is so low on HP, but still keeps alive. That seems to be a recurring theme. Jordy now battles versus Bloke, or left rather. That gambit did work out for them, but it allows so much space here on the alleyway side. Jordy ultimately clapped down into the ground. Retain, sustain, ultimately attain. Attain, box take into your own pocket. KN. And it's only forward now, though, with 2 more players Dowie doesn't have.
Yeah, Dowie doesn't have, but this is a super weird position. Juno not winning the fight, but instead Silk's going in and just destroys them. Drops the hammer there in lobby. Joe now really low as well, can just get chased down by Sail, who now can capture this point. It's 2 more spawners here onto last, but Jordy's already up. This is a really scary hold, and I think no, they're not going to go for the push. Dowie 100% Uber, and this is now the Buccaneers. They have a chance, fire the cannon, get forwards, and they can send this themselves. Massive golden ticket to try and take a round and get themselves back in on this map.
If they don't do it now, then there's no point in time where they're doing it as set a sail forward into the enemy team. Jordy and the other soldier, they are bombing sky high to detract some few points from capping this midpoint. Also, we see the parachute coming out. Cap is now nudged a little bit. F is still on the front line though. Voxtech falling, but still F being very recalcitrant. Also, Dowie being absolutely plucked out of the sky. They are blackening out some more players, and the soldiers, I feel, were the importance there alongside with the heavy.
Yeah, it's Jordan just flying around with that parachute, just pillowing down damage onto the enemy team. Really, really hard to deal with them. And I think, unfortunately, The Uber there for the Buccaneers doesn't quite find the aggression, the damage that they need. They get a lot of positioning, but no damage dealt to the enemy team means that now it's a super weird situation. Mac, a little bit disjointed, manages to find that cleanup kill onto Jordy, but we're still in onto middle. Silv's so aggressive there onto Piggles, but doesn't find any further damage. Now you sacked into to try and get this forward aggression that doesn't work, and you can see the DM just pushing forwards into Valley now. With big player advantage, it's going to be so hard to hold onto middle.
Especially since Dirty Maggots realize how dirty they can play this now. Just be aggressive and always tick down this timer. We have a 2-0 lead. What are you going to do against us? We still do feature a 20% Uber disadvantage, albeit they started building at the exact same time frame. So maybe Dowie was just honestly building better because his players were taking more damage. Now it's a soldier bomb, though it forces the Uber concurrently, and the Valley leave is what Dirty Maggots are opting for. No harm really done.
Yeah, no, this is a sort of weird little post fight there where Voxy actually manages to find the kill. Uber just comes straight in out of Piggles. They really want to find something, but instead Sail going to run forwards, force everyone to look at him and allow for Dowie to run away. But once again, you see that little bit of a disconnect. Dowie not healing his scout, and once again, Dowie tries to he could get run out by his scout, but Junu's not there with him at all. This is just going to allow DM to just come in for kind of free positioning, taking so much longer, and they're going to get second off of this.
Jordy skip bomb into the lobby. Dowie brought down 12 HP. That seems to be a recurring theme as they are already eyeing up the third point on the face of it. Or, you know what? Don't even push. Just honestly chill back and throw to the Bloodsail Buccaneers. If you're so much in charge now, well, let's see.
Yeah, the Buccaneers kind of don't have a choice. They have to go forwards. They're recognizing this. Sniper on Sail is going to try to open some kind of a hold here with any kind of eventual pick, right? But this angle is so difficult. You can see where the enemy team is sitting as well. Not easy to find any kind of shot. No angle really to be found, and this is now very precarious position. Both teams have Uber, but now the enemy team, DM, sitting on the low ground. The Maggot Sills wants to go forward with the sack. He gets immediately shut down.
The main obvious reference point where they're rallying up their troops around is just main, and GG has this wonderfully locked down. Also, Jordy's chasing out Sail, but serving his namesake, he surfs out on the winds of success. But does that work though? Jordy's still in behind. He's still out the medic.
Oh my God!
And that's another one for the bakery.
Yeah, that's so tragic there for the Buccaneers. So late into the game, they maybe had some kind of an option with that soldier double sack, but unfortunately just finds it marked perfectly. Now Sail, shot of a lifetime, doesn't connect, and unfortunately this now gets really, really difficult for the Buccaneers to stay in. It's 2.5 minutes left, and unfortunately it's another combo disconnect there. Ends up costing them this round. I think, to be honest, it's going to be so hard for the Buccaneers to hold on to this. A massive advantage for the Maggots, and they're just looking to capitalize.
Symptomatic as the mosaic of last pushes might come together as they're putting their jigsaw so much kept time by Boxtec. Honestly, now though the parachute comes in, it helped them before. The Dirty Maggots cannot help the Bloodsail Buccaneers now. It's also left trying to chase Piggles out. Ultimately assembled some sort of order back into it, but 2 minutes, that has to be the most clinical conversion rates into last pushes that we've ever seen.
Yeah, they need to no-clip onto mid, start capping it already, and actually also no-clip onto the enemy last, and also start capping that. You need about 2 minutes. On a map like Metalworks, where you have to cover as much distance as humanly possible, it is so hard to make this work. They need to basically be capping the next round right now. It's Jordan actually giving an early kill, but it is just time crunch, and I think it's not quite there. Even if DM slowly throw away the rest of this round, it won't be enough, but instead it's KN in behind onto Mac. Doesn't find any damage though. Is just going to fall back. Instead, you can see Voxy even on the back cap here, and I think that will dispel GG from map number 1. It's been very close, but the Buccaneers, unfortunately there, just a bit of disconnects, not able to find any round conversion in the end, and the Dirty Maggots picking up a quite dirty, to be honest, 2-0.
I mean, honestly, the epistemic approaches, I will go into the better talk. We are eyeing up another trade here on the Million Bridge. Let's see who is Constantine and who is Maxentius at the end. Now, they're still battling about. Also, Jordan having a scuffle here versus the scout. That also seems to be symptomatic. A soldier bombing a double scout, but it is what he has to deal with. There's still Voxtec now on mid. He is having a 1v1 versus a Sail. Sail scares him out. Maybe they can claim a last point cap for their own glory.
It's Voxy losing the 1v1 in the end to Sail there as well, but this is so weird, right? They're trying to make this push happen, just make anything happen on the logs. but that's now a heavy up on last. It's really hard for them to bomb across. And I think this is just curtains for the round, right? You see the scout bombing in. They might even actually get this round. Just full of logs. It's so difficult. The collapse comes in. The heavy's on the point, and there we go. Let the record show. This is a 2-1. I think this deserves to be a 2-1. Even though the round doesn't matter, let's just say it counts. I like this scoreline for the game.
It counts, head counts. The head counted from Piggles versus Dowie. It was the Medic 1v1 on the last.
They can still win. They have 4 seconds.
Yeah, 1-0. You lied to me.
Unlucky.
You lied to me, but it is a 2-1 win here for Dirty Maggots. They were in charge rather and not the Bloodsail Buccaneers. But I was pointing it out earlier. The epistemic approach, really, that shown through for Dirty Maggots is we have a rather relatively early 1-0 lead. We turn this into a 2-0 lead, and I'm going to pick you up on your words. Bloodsail Buccaneers definitely suffered within the combo, and nailing down those last pushes, that was where their main fault lied and cost them very dearly.
Yeah, unfortunately, I feel like there's just some key moments throughout that map. I think really good showings overall, right, for the Buccaneers, but just eventually small little disconnects, and Maggots good enough to be able to pounce off of them. And yeah, I really like, to be honest, I really liked that the Buccaneers decide that they realize that their only way out is through, and they just keep pushing anyway, right? Both of these teams are really willing to play super aggressive, and they're kind of, this is the same similar friend group. They're talking to each other in their chat as well. It's a lot of words being exchanged, a lot of really high octane gameplay. I'm really enjoying it so far.
Brilliant as I have my eyes geared toward a lock screen, and we have a Sail sitting rather comfortable, I'd say, on 24 frags on his own primacy there, and then 11 deaths coming out of him, 2-2. KD, maybe that helps him with losing the game alongside with his team. It's the usual talk where you say, my team loses, I win. Then F comes, KN and Voxtech follow soon thereafter. I'm looking more at medic kills and deaths here, where medic kills are not that important. Well, both have one, but the deaths are 8-8. Does it really feel like that was the story of this game? I felt like there were some kills on Dowie that definitely leveraged the game of Dirty Maggots more than the other way around.
Yeah, I think I tend to agree with your analysis there. I think just looking, these logs as well, I think they paint the picture of a really balanced game overall, right? No one's like super standing out with any sort of crazy stats. Everything kind of looks as you would expect when you're watching a close Metalworks game. No damage super high, no kills really that big either. It's Sail top fragging with 24. It's kind of what you'd expect from that sort of pocket scout performance, and I think it's painting a picture for what is now going to be, I hope, a very exciting game on Prolands. We had one game earlier. I didn't get to watch it. For my money, this is the first game of Prolands that I think I'm trying to think about it. I think I started casting right when we kicked Prolands out of the map pool. I don't think I've ever gotten to cast this tomato.
I mean, I am always here for, yes, new refreshments. For the first time, if this is your first time, then let's see what Prolands has to kick in for you. But the Dirty Maggots, I think, have definitely a, reason to pick this. Maybe they just want to practice this for playoffs, I suppose. We saw Forfans. I don't want to spoil you when, obviously, in the land of the internet, but Forfans did pick this map when they played it early on the week.
Yeah, I think this is a map that is going to favor those teams with players that have been around for a really long time. I think sort of the de facto analysis on this map is that Witness would by default be the best, right? They just have the players that have been around for longest and have been around for long enough to have played Badlands at a top Prem level before, right? Sil and Pappy both competing at Copenhagen Games where they played this map extensively. This was the last time you really had Badlands properly in the competitive map pool. They have a bunch of strats you can sort of work your way out from. There are a few changes to this map. The sort of biggest one that you guys will notice if you want there Sunday to catch that game, you haven't watched the VOD either, the Lost Point significantly different now. Lost Point has been opened up a lot. Cap time is the sort of slower variant, as far as I'm aware, but there's no glass pane behind, so you can kind of come in from all around. That behind point has really been opened up and is going to allow for a lot of, I hope, interesting dynamics. I actually don't know. I haven't really been managing to peek any scrims either, so I wonder how that map actually ends up working, because traditionally Badlands was the map in the pool where being on Lost was a disadvantage for the holders rather than for the aggressors coming in.
Spoiler alert, by the way, whoever did not watch the previous match where 4 fans now all hold your ears if you don't want to hear it. One mostly because of backcaps, honestly. Maybe that might salvage them a bit more. Spoiler alert out. Now you can re-listen. Evidently very difficult if you've just been deafened yourself, but it was sort of this play, honestly. Also on the second point, it seemed a bit ponderous at times. No one really going for the very hefty MG. It mainly facilitated the midpoint win, and usually one team killed the enemy medic and then they pushed straight to last.
Yeah, this is a map where actually the distance is not that far. Trying to get in, especially if you're pushing through house, right? You can cover ground into enemy lobby pretty much instantly if you get a decisive mid victory. This is one of those maps where it's where like a gully wash, perhaps, right? If you wipe the enemy team on gully, you can be on the enemy last before they even spawn. Badlands can be very, very similar to that. Huge potential to roll some really fast rounds. I think we might be watching a little bit. Excited to see actually what we do on mid. If we're just going to go back to the old faithful of everyone running in through your own valley, sort of jumping in, maybe a roamer playing the enemy shit house, trying to kind of run around. Actually, I think we need to... I haven't asked the members of the Illuminati yet, if I'm allowed to call it its rightful name of shit house. We're going to do it today, and then maybe...
You are going to do it, I'm not going to.
And then J-Max is going to send me a million angry messages.
That's... Someone has to take a bullet for the team. I'm still not doing that. We are still alive on the internet. Everything is eternalized, honestly.
Yep.
Otherwise, they tell me otherwise. But I mean, out of the 7 rounds before from the previous match, they all entered through Valley. So nothing to change. But once more, we are unlocking this one here, this new old Prolands map, like a crate from the MAGGOTS store. Thanks for sponsoring us, but we are unlocking this further. This matchup, the Dirty Maggots, they have taken Metalworks. It definitely worked for them. They are 1-0 up, and it is the Bloodsail Buccaneers in the red. Let's go.
On to middle already, and both teams playing under super early aggression there from Sylv. Coming in, trying to delay the enemy team from getting up onto the enemy side. Jordan plays that house, ends up taking a frag there as well. So now both soldiers down on the side of the Buccaneers. It's KN chasing already in onto enemy house. But you can see everyone on that Buccaneers side sitting in their own resup, waiting. As that door is open, this is another really nice feature of Badlands. You can sort of run into your own forward spawn whenever you want, but this is very early aggression. KN coming in towards fire already, finding a kill to Dowie, and this is a very nice collapse here from the Maggots.
They have red Sail's position before so long ago. He snuck in behind. It was the tale of 2 soldiers on that mid. They both suicided on the enemy medic. Both were dealt with. Sail snuck in behind, was also dealt with. And then Max staying so far forward when they have 1 player still in the respawn queue and 2 players just spawning. So that definitely did not have their efforts. Dowie just spawning now. Full 100%. Everyone being buffed. There's a backcap shenanigan by left, but I don't think it bothers them enough. They're pushing it right as we speak.
It's a classic pyro on top right there, as it just tries
to be fast. They have to be fast.
Sticky's all onto the point. They're dead already, but the cap is still trying to coming out. This heavy is up. Was a bit of a back cap going on, but I think this heavy from Sail can just clean up. KN is up and dead already. Not really managing to find a kill, but look at Voxy Tomato. Look at this.
Still hiding in the lobby on the little frame. Hey, he has a little cup there, maybe of cafe to drink in is disquiet. Now he's dropping down, but ultimately being cleared off. Takes 1 medium health pack. It's 1v1, and he ultimately falls to the pistol.
This is really big advantage here for the Buccaneers. 70%, 80% actually on the side of Dowie already. So you can see them moving in through Valley. It's 1 Geordie. Is in house, hasn't been spotted quite yet, so they're actually going to run onto mid here. We'll see if Jordy can make any kind of play. He's in onto resup and has not been spotted. Look at where Dowie's position. This could be crucial, and it's just a body shot from KN!
Dowie falling down. 1 more loaf of bread right straight into the bakery here. Once more though, they're cooking. It's Mac though being shot down rather low on HP. Jordy also is in a very interesting position there. Sylv cleans off a GG, the Joe play that was. Also, Jordy still behind. I feel like everyone is scattered a little bit across the map now.
Yeah, this is the Buccaneers deciding to just opt for pure chaos, losing their medic there, sending in Juno, everyone in behind, Sail, Sylvs as well, just trying to poke from all angles. drag MAGGOTS as far back as they can, try to find some kind of a kill, and that's going to open the door. They're back onto middle. Pickles doesn't have Uber quite yet, and they're still having to deal with this Juno behind. On Sniper eats one rocket, doesn't quite get the second. Follow-up kill onto Jordy's going to force them out and going to allow Left to bomb a bit far forwards. Bomb Pickles all the way out. Now he's going to have to pop in through this choke point. It's going to make this Uber a lot harder to get anything done with Doey. Already 70%, but they're not backing out here. They're going to try to hold on. This is a lot of damage onto Pickles. He doesn't pop. Finally does, and Doey almost has Uber himself.
I'm a bit always distracted by the chat as Juno writes that he's so good at the flank. I'm tempted to agree with him there because his whole is able a boat managed for them to hold steadfast on the mid, and yeah, the high ground alongside with those choke points definitely help their projectile players, and it salvaged them once more. Voxic is still in behind. So many backcappers here now, and Dirty MAGGOTS trying to do to Bloodsail Buccaneers what they have suffered before. It's still Jordy in the face of Doey, 100% in his face, does not drop ultimately, only loses Mac. But 4 versus 3 players, 40% Uber advantage.
They're going to try to push this. This is the flank. Voxy and KN completely blowing up Sylvs there in on to resub. Now it's a little bit of play from the opposing sides of the MAGGOTS, trying to see if they can get some kind of force out onto Doey, but they've managed to stall quite just enough, right? KN, Voxy, really nice play there, forcing everyone back. Losing Mac as well means that, yes, they have the Uber advantage, they can take mid, but they can't take the Uber any further, right? So now, even Uber's on both sides, and this, finally, Tomato, even Uber stalemate, Badlands second, other team on mid, it's good to be back.
It's good to be back. It might even be good to be Mac, as he's already trailing forward here with his double soldier flank. They try to opt for the side flank of it. Also, Doey is forced in this disarray of actions where they try to go forward, but ultimately setting themselves into a low ground, taking so much damage ultimately together with your team, and the MAGGOTS show Mac how it is done. They still have to cross through this choke point.
Yeah, now this is a really weird fight. Mac is dead once again. It's really hard to hold on to Badlands choke here without a demo. Sticky's so valuable. You can see Sylvs bombs quite aggressively forwards, but just rotating over other MAGGOTS in onto House. And this is going to once again mean that I think, yeah, the Buccaneers just have to give up on mid. They don't have any hider players either. They're just forced all the way back. And this is now going to allow the MAGGOTS to take a lot of space. Mac has Stickies, but they're already shot away. And now you have to watch out you don't bleed players here.
Jordy is simply hype bombing, and wonderful fadeaway rocket into Sylv's side. The headshot though from Sail on Jordy. Wondrous one. Also Doey with the quarrelsome quarrel, the lethal crossbow, the aiding bolt for his own team as they are pronging themselves much more forward, way akin as to when they were laying siege to the enemy team before. Mac is also plastering his stickies forward. It's still 100 to 100%, but one team has 2 players still just spawning now.
Yeah, this is now opening the door for Sail to try and snipe in through choke. They're playing this super aggressive. KN, though, is in onto enemy house. Is going to have to take a pack there. And does manage to live. Trade that kill onto Juno. This is pretty decent now for the side of the MAGGOTS. 1 kill advantage to work with. Sniper's still up for Sail. Means no scouts in the enemy team. You have to play this super close. Rely on Sylvs. Rely on Mac to hold on. But he has his stuff back. It's a lot of damage just trying to break through this hold onto choke. No scouts mean that you have to back so far back here onto Doe. He's down to 50. You can't stay in anymore. This is now just all the way back. A Sail in lobby. He has 1 chance to go in.
Trash. It's a trash area play, and maybe it is trash for them after all, setting themselves into low ground. Mac is perpetually shot though, so low on HP. Doey connects to him though, as they are still cooking in trash. Left is dying though, and Voxtech scarpers out alive. 1 HP, all you need. Force comes out on Doey, drops Mac. Way better Uber, way better chase. Once this ensues for Dirty MAGGOTS.
Yeah, the health is just not there for them at all. The cleanup can come in, but this is Sail is still just up on the sniper, and instead they're just going to allow Af to come in and just shut down everyone. On a 3k already, he's in onto last. It's a sniper with an SMG and does manage to just barely clean up with the help of Left, but Joe is in. It's GG, doesn't quite manage to find the follow-up, and so now, in all of this chaos, it is ultimately going to be Pickles spawning up with a 20% advantage here. Sail, finally opportunity to get off that sniper, gonna build a gun instead. I think maybe it's time for just a little bit of stability, at least for now. It's aggression coming out early, but they're not gonna be able to follow up on anything.
could be the case, as we see GG D'Agostino falling, L'amour toujours on that second point for everyone. Pigels already sort of healing his players there. It's a 20 to 30% Uber advantage. Jordi is in on the lobby already, patrolling it on the upper battlements, or lobby rather, of it. And let's see, I think they even want to trail. Yes, 25% Uber advantage. Let's go, everyone is glowing. And once this glow of immortality fades, it might help them once they reach the point here, since now they can cap it. F is on it already, pestering it a little bit. Sail has to drop down blow, and Sylph both out on the low ground, but still they hold steadfast.
Yeah, they commit so much of their Uber to get down that sentry nest. And yes, they get it down, but without any further picks, the Heavy is up and does so much work in blocking down everything. KN, lone man, in on the enemy second, trying to get something on it to Doey, but now massive advantage here for the Buccaneers. They are going to manage to cap second before GG comes up. So Jordan is going to spot everyone else. Pushing in through their valley here is the Buccaneers. But KN now, big bomb in onto Doey, finds one rocket, doesn't quite get the second. And now we're trying to get space on middle, trying to keep everyone out. I think we've managed to counter it so far. Just Jordan going in behind, trying to take the 1v1 with Leth. But you know, Leth has too much MG elo. They're pushing through here on mid.
F is running in and setting Mag into the respawn queue. A double meat shot it took, and that definitely leverages their game, as it facilitates when having a very strong hold on this midpoint. Sylph's not long for this world, being dominated by Voxtec. Also Sail in behind. Left not finding the crucial rocket though on Pigels, and that was a scuffle fight if I've ever seen one. Not only on the second point, on the midpoint, on the last point, everywhere the soldiers are the brute force that always force open those doors.
I love that bomb in from Leth. It had such potential, but unfortunately just lands on the wrong side of the crate, and unfortunately doesn't find the damage that he could have. And now this is huge advantage here for the Maggots. You can see them taking lobby already, 80% onto Piggles. They will have this if they just dot push it. There's a soldier up, but Sylphs is not watching his back, but he does just manage to find the kill onto GG, traded across onto Bloke, but this is still a push that is a bit hard. Losing two already when you're trying to dot push, Doey now 80%. I think this push is squarely completely countered.
Now you're canceling that push and sheltering yourself. Even on the second point, they have no business in staying up any further. It is KN being beamed in the trash area, F and Voxtec on the top being built and beamed concurrently. Though it might be a first stalemate, we saw KN crouching there in the lobby. Usually you want to check this little concrete frame on the top for any aggressive sticky trap, but it doesn't really come to fruition. It's a 100%. This is a 100% that feature right now. We haven't really seen that. They're opting for the side.
This is super interesting here. They're trying to go in from low ground, trying to sort of play off that further positioning you can get onto Lust. No one's really there to counter it, but this is still such a precarious Lust to try and push into. You can see the immediate pressure coming in onto Jordan, coming in onto KN as they both get shut down a bit, maybe just perhaps a sack. Trying to get something in onto Doey, but playing super safe. And this is now meaning that it's very hard to hold on to second. Is GG taking a lot of damage. The bomb in from Sylphs doesn't quite get the follow-up kill onto the demo. We hold on successfully, at least for now. Back in onto lobby.
The map geometry really didn't help Sylph's efforts. Left is also caught in this little low ground area. Also, by the way, what is integral to this lower push is a double soldier spam, really finding any crucial players to damage, but it did not do so. Now the push is coming out. It takes even longer to take down the sentry nest, and now they're being charged by a glowing pyro, some flame particles forward. Nothing really is found in terms of total frags. It's a follow-up aggression though that might help them. Nothing really is happening though.
Yeah, so far, the Ubers just kind of traded across. No one's really finding any kind of advantage, right? Pyro heavy up on the red side means that they will never push out, right? They are just waiting for the Maggots to go for some kind of a sack play. You see Jordan running in through lower left here. Doesn't find much of anything. Scout's now in as well, trying to get some kind of damage across, but just expertly shut down there by the Pyro of Junu. It's Joe down once again. GG is not able to survive any longer. No Demo Man, this is 3 down. It's really hard to hold on second.
Whenever they're trying to set up here a follow-up push, follow-up assault, it doesn't really work. And also almost kills Sylphs on the trash area. Would have only been a lone frag. Will definitely not have their efforts of defending this, as this second point is capped. KN on a 10-second respawn, although he doesn't quite have. We still see a scout with a Boston Bash, or even the little sword clopping himself in the face. Might be another stalemate. I'm not sure, as if they want to push off that. Well, I'm sure they won't put off that, honestly.
It's a spy for KN here. Maybe perhaps trying
do they
something
know?
completely different. No. He's still running forwards, right? Is Jordan actually just instantly eating the pavement? Tries to go in, but Sill's expertly shutting him down. But now it's a spy on Cloak. They have no idea, and he has a very nice positioning here.
Oh, let's see. Since we are talking about Concrete, let's see if he can curb stomp. He's uncloaking. I think he was spotted there, or he thought he was spotted. Now he's ring around a rose ring around this little second point. I don't want to get my view distracted a bit much forward, but nothing really is happening of it. No one else is snacking in. It's just a waiting game. Now he can close. He's picked out. He's being healed. He's
No.
possession. He gets him.
Oh, that's a disaster for the Buccaneers! It's Dowie just not popping there, as his team can't quite clean up the spy. Gets off like 5 pistol shots, and yeah, you can be mad at Dowie for not popping, but why in the world is a spy allowed to shoot him that many times? Pickles, no!
It's the biggest thing. That is Wirecard Pickles, because you get picked less, I suppose, but a double drop ultimately. But I guess the one on Dowie hurts a bit more in the soul. Pickles still dies. Voxtec is hiding beneath the bridge.
Oh my god. We're fully in the depths now, Tomato. No one knows what's happening anymore. Boxy's hiding. There's a KN bombing a scout on Badlands middle like you'd never see it before.
Double scout on second.
Oh my god. Wait, they're both on second.
Yeah,
But they're
they're
gonna
still
lose the
behind.
mid-cap. Jordan's 1v3ing again. But
I have
now,
to set
okay,
this
now
into...
they're going in. I think the DM might just be able to hold this, right? They have
chasing
one guy still. What is going on? Rico.
I have to set this into perspective. It's still 0-0, so basically every team can still lose this. It's not like one team is already leading 4-0.
This is wild. I'm glad to see it though. It's Dowie has big advantage here, by the way. Dowie 94%. This is huge. 40% advantage. Everything's said and done. Sentrigun is being built, but Af just lifts it. But Sentrigun's not up. Oh no! He tried to replace it. That means it's gonna go down. Now Jordy cleaned up as well. 2 players. Another KN falling. So much cap time up to the point. What am I watching?
I am in charge now, say the Bloodsail Buccaneers, apparently freebooting that point, apparently. A 1-0 lead, and Pirates do revel in the meme tactics. It was all falling apart when Dowie was dropped, but apparently that helped them to push that last point, you know, as a
What helped
causality.
them push that last point? Af had a level 2 up that would perfectly have denied every single bomb onto that top right. But right before the push comes in, he decides to replace it closer to spawn. So when the push comes in, the sentry gun is still being built, and it does absolutely nothing. And so the engineer completely eliminated. It's Bloke trying to eliminate Pickles, supported by Sills here on middle.
A double bomb, and that definitely eradicates those players on the midpoint. Now it's a follow-up trade here. F is also charging it. He is hiding in the little forward spawn. Dowie has once more snuck into that secret bakery, and he's the only one living from that mid. Pickles ultimately is thrown into the abattoir.
Finally, maybe a light little sigh of relief here, but it's a short one for the Maggots to get control of the middle. But it's a massive Uber disadvantage, right? You can see them setting up now. Their eyes are on one man, and they're going to try to make Dowie drop for the 3rd time this map. So he now already 95%. Is going to have to push forwards here. You can see how aggressively that the Maggots are playing it. Aggression already coming in onto the enemy resub. It's KN and Foxy really pressuring this once again.
Jordy.
But a kill onto Jordy. Going to shut it down.
No, Jordy forced it completely by himself into 3 players, forced the Uber, also damaged the ancillary players. It's a double bomb! No! Pickles not long for this world! Not out of the slaughterhouse! And that was not the right stimuli to give to the enemy team. We forced you, Uber. That's nice. Oh, well, that just gives us a reason to push forward.
Yep, I mean, that's pretty good. Get forced, but then drop the enemy medic as you just bomb in. Mac completely nukes that Pickles there. And that means he's going to be so far back once again. Uber just seesawed into Dowie's favor here. 40% to play with. But Voxy now in behind, but he's completely spotted. And what can you do, right? He's just sat here spamming winger shots from afar. These don't do anything at all. And now
Voxtec is doing a Sail impression, it seems to me. Before Sail was always in behind, now Voxtec is doing that instead. It's a 20% Uber advantage. Not sure if they can really relent here on this last. Well, they're trying to do it as Voxtec is already capping it. They're charging for, yes, in some aggressive manner.
it's an early kill there onto the gun, but there's still stickies onto the point. Heavy can now come out, and there's no real frags being found from the Buccaneers. It's just sat in this low ground position, not gained, and this now means the counter Uber can come out. 3 players cleaned up already. Doey has to run for the hills, but KN doing a lot of damage already. Can't really hold on to second here either. I think you have to keep running back. Voxy's already in to claim that second, and unfortunately for the Pirates, they don't get the immediate kill. Instead, it's Bloke, though, just trying to go in.
Simpson last versus Jordi, he's battling it. Left is also falling in the front line. Sniffs on 1 HP basically. I think no 4 that were fearing the enemy team much indeed. They claim that second point. The Dirty Maggots, for the sake of them, still feature a 2-man advantage on their own phase, smashing forward into that middle point. Even Ubers, I've talking about this so much, it doesn't really help either team because usually it attenuates the enemy team to push out further once they get forced or dropped or whatever. This game has been an absolute chaotic deathmatch fragfest fight.
Yeah, this is what happens when you get new maps on the map. No one knows what's happening. When it's a map like Badlands, that encourages a lot of fighting. You're going to get a lot of chaotic fighting. Both of these teams also so willing to just completely give in to the madness, as now Whispers in the Dark are telling the Maggots that they need to run into the enemy house. KN once again so ready to go for this flank play in through enemy resubs. Going to eat a lot of damage though. The Jordan simultaneously picked up as he tries to push in through Haunter. He goes down, and that means now it is 1 player down to the side of the Maggots.
Sail through the valley. Can he scope out the angles? He doesn't have an angle after all, but doesn't really find a crucial sideline. It is still a threat that they have to deal with. Is, well, he's backing out away from it as Sniper on the low ground doesn't really accomplish all that much. KN is falling though. Sylphs is traded out as a follow-up frag, and now all the space opens up here as this further fight continues, and you have a Sniper in the background, and it helps your team here. They have to multi the blue faction.
Yeah, but this Scout Uber, unfortunately, is not supported by any teammates. Voxy sat on Spire that does so much work in keeping Mac back, forced to spam him out, and that means that after the Uber fades, it's Sail with a nice little shot, finds the follow-up onto Voxy, not quite able to take down Joe, but it's enough to keep his team in this round. I was about to sing Voxy's praises for how well he played that flank, but Sail just does him one better. KN's in behind, but what can he do?
I was trusting in Sail. Sorry for streaming so loud. I was already picturing the point-blank headshot. It was a point-blank body shot, so that works. It also definitely didn't help his team that he was on Sniper there in the midst of this Uber trade. I was maybe guessing otherwise, but he gets the frag only in the end though on the medic. Mac is now alone, being bombed, surfs out, ultimately being...
KN with the drop, he just comes in like the knight himself onto Doey. 3-4 rockets, just barely finds that kill, but has so much damage dealt onto the opposing side. Pickles trying to run out with his life intact, but it's so much red pressure instantly responding. Mac though dead means that this might be a bit tricky to hold on to on mid.
Total eclipse of the heart for Doey as he was ultimately nuked upon its bloke. Left in the behind though, have they spotted him? He doesn't really find a consequential position since he was put onto the low ground, so he has to fire and himself out as a Juno also eradicated off this world. It's 8.5 minutes. A lot of struggling out of both of those teams, but the 1-0 lead for a team that is now set on their own last point.
And this is a big advantage here for the Maggots as well. 100% Uber already, 50% to work with as they could try to just convert this last push already. Left is in on a bit of a flank mission. He's not around for last at all. Has to come bombing into his resub to actually manage to get in behind on time. So Uber now is just going to come straight in onto last.
So many bonks on Piggles, but he's not the one who has to walk the farthest out and not being flashed. And then he takes so much damage. Voxtec also a little bit peskily parading upon the point. Ultimately eats an Iron Bomber pipe though. No irony involved. Full deathmatch fight involved. Mac plucks them apart.
Doey? What is he doing? Oh my god. Why would you do that? Doey just picks out the statue, sees Joe in the corner, and decides, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna run the head first into the full HP demo man. He eats one pipe, doesn't get the second, but that is yeah, that's a man who's feeling himself.
You have to trust the process, not feel the nihilism. His team wins, so he has the right to do this. Once he scores, he's always correct. Voxtec versus Sylphs. Sylphs takes this with all of the courage that he can muster, and Voxtec right into the respawn queue. 70% Uber advantage. The Maggots screwed up one last push, and now they are already sent straight back to their own second point with an Uber disadvantage.
Yeah, this is going to be really hard to hold on to as well. Jordan trying to make a play here in onto the enemy medic, but no, it's just no Doughy anywhere to be found. Decent damage onto him, but it's not enough. Stickies from Joe can do a little bit as well, but they can just keep pressuring this in forwards now. Running in on to the enemy Grey Bridge, but there's bought enough time, right? This play managed to give Pickles enough time to retreat in onto last, build up an Uber charge of his own, and I think we're kind of fine, at least for now, right? Capping off the second is going to be the Buccaneers, but what do you do now? KN's on the spy. Immediately, you'd say, oh, he's just checking for off classes, but no. It's time to unequalize this Uber advantage.
This time to snuck in forward. We saw Doughy going down to 5 L'étranger shots before, maybe one stab, one knife into the back. Does the job this time around, but he's, well, trying to get into the position, I suppose. He's still in the trash area, doesn't really find anything, going back to the spawn.
Oh, nope, never mind. So picks up the ammo, goes back in. They never expect the spy the third time. He needs to really watch out picking up this ammo, by the way. As
and
if
also
anyone
opening
sees
the
him at
shutter.
any point, he's completely found out, right? And you can see now it's Jordy running forwards. Now KN is squarely back on last, and I think we're giving up losing that soldier there. But it is a Leth on the counter spy here.
Could be the playmaker. Leth is still sneaking, so slowly, sneakily walking behind the point.
This is he's coming up on the stairs actually.
Don't talk
Here's
too
a
loud.
free presented back on Pickles and he misses the stab. Such a good stab, completely shuts down the spy play. And that's what happens sometimes. Now it's a player down here. Lots of damage onto Sylphs as well. He falls. Junu super low by this push out from KN. So aware in lobby. And all of a sudden this has gone really badly here for the Pirates.
It definitely has done, and now this second point opens it up. Oh, you know what? F says, I'm on Pyro. I'm gonna stay at Pyro at least until we cap the second point, I suppose, since he's going into the forward spawn. And now he back spawns, apparently. Anyway, now we have to wait for some more players to rejoin the front. Also, Jordy still throwing a tantrum in behind.
Yeah, Jordy's in behind. This is putting a lot of pressure onto Doughy. He doesn't have a pack to really save him. Has to pop that Uber as KN gets a super nice bomb in onto him. Now Pickles, Uber charge of his own, has to just pop it onto GG, but there's no support here at all. This is a demo solo against 4 players collapsing in from every angle.
This is a nightmare for a demo man. You are sort of in a low ground and then you see a double scout. Your medic has Uber up, but the clock is also only ticking down until your own Uber fades. And once the glimpse of immortality fades, this might send some sort of order here back to the upper lobby area. There's already a last cap. It's back on the last. He spends, and F is also caught within this wonderful bolt. It's also Sail coming in. The conversion rate might be theirs. It is not.
Barely. You can see the last-ditch attempt coming in, but this is now the Maggots once again being presented a bit of a gift to try and salvage this. They almost lose the round, barely holding on. But oh my god, it is Junu building a sentry in forwards. Welcome to the Chaos Zone.
Welcome
It's gonna get
to
spammed down as a level 1.
the Twilight Zone.
I don't think this does anything. I think this is horrible to me. Yeah, it's just
No,
dead. Okay.
I think
That
it's
was
a
funny, though.
ammunition supply now for a soldier. You see, can pick up the metal.
Yep.
Jody's
That
going.
was good. Thank you, Junu.
Easy. Thank you. It's bridging the gap though for the Maggots. They're still 0-1 down, and Jordy is also propelling himself forward here, having another scuffle go at it. Mac has some pipes flung over, but nothing really is happening. Pickles still wields a 40% over advantage. Jordy on, so aggressive in the lobby, and then on the battlements.
You have to still watch out for the sniper out of Junu though, right? Can find some kind of an angle, but now he's going to back off on to last hit. But I think we might have delayed just long enough. Doughy, 90% already. It is sailed down, but Jordy down on the enemy side as well. Look at these scouts. They're using an Uber straight in on behind the point, trying to capture as much ground as possible. But these are stickies still up, heavy, still up. Pyro as well, driving the enemy blue team out of the point. Ubers are traded though, and you're going to look to keep pushing this forwards.
It's not going to work out though. Voxtec and compatriots, they thought they had a much larger Uber advantage, or maybe not much larger, but at least 10% larger. Dowie is keeping himself alive with a bolt into GG. Also Piggles falling down, so it's a full wipe for the MAGGOTS. They pushed last, but Dowie already had. They dropped down to the low ground to reciprocate and respond in kind. Then Voxtec tried to regroup and recycle through the lobby into the top right area, but that also didn't work because their own soldiers were not fast enough, and now we're back on the middle, and it's 1-0 lead still for the Bloodsail Buccaneers.
Yeah, Bloodsail Buccaneers are just going to keep on taking these fights at this point. Timer squarely in their favor, and that is a really nice set of pipes from Mac onto Jordan, really shutting down the aggression below, trying to go for a bit of counter, but there we go, it's KN, straight in onto Dowie, massive kill, as now we need to keep Piggles alive. Chaos coming forward, but the play from Joe, double air shot there, disgusting.
Joe zone enabled, also slips in behind, but ultimately is only a liability for his own team, it feels like, since they're so fast here to instantly stampede forth and gore some more players, as GG already has a lot of health in him, and he's also loading through. The stickies are spotted, I think, for the most part. Now the Uber's popped, and now they're charging in. Dowie doesn't have, also already leaving the spawn. There's a little bit of scuffle going on here. The Pyro still in the stairs area, finally falling. 2 players down, slips also in behind the lines. Voxtec receives a wonderful bolt into his face. Now it's a 1v1 there. Sail versus Voxtec.
It's so hard though, I feel so bad. I feel like DM, they probably could have gotten that cap. Mac was dead for that whole push. There's no stickies on the point. It was completely empty. There's a heavy kind of close, but I feel like if you shoot him down, you're kind of spending so much time trying to secure that high ground. KN with a salvage bomb comes in and finds that kill onto Dowie, but it is just Piggles alive. He's gonna find his players, and there is one more chance here. 50 seconds. You can't even realistically give up seconds. You have to send this in, and you have to try and take a trade round here.
Time is fleeting, but KN ultimately might have just gave them a get out of jail for free card here, since Piggles was also snacking behind. You saw Mac and his compatriot soldier being on second, but they had to turn around because the mumble call came in that someone was on their own medic. Piggles could snag out. 90% Uber advantage. Time is fleeting. Time to death ball.
It is 20 seconds now, and the push has to be surgical. It's essentially going to take it down straight away, but you have to deal with these stickies on the point. As you shoot them around, the heavy comes up. The point is half gap. It's a scout onto the point, and he's just going to get onto it. No one is there. The heavy is not in time, and that sends us, Tomato, to a golden cap. Nail biting. There was a singular second left of that round timer, and they managed to just barely make that work.
Crucial. That is so crucial, honestly. And we called it out. It was basically Dowie dying there, and also Mac alongside with the complementary soldier on that second point precipice. They had to turn around. They have the mumble call. Someone is on our medic, and that allowed Piggles to snuck out from the bridge all the way through the valley, all the way through his own choke. And then he had a full 100% Uber advantage. They pushed that in, and apparently it is the last resort measures that helps them to get our very first golden cap round of Prolands in the new season.
Yep. I don't know about you guys in the chat, but I'm pretty convinced. I don't know why we ever got rid of this map. This has been one of the most fun maps I've watched in a while. Both of these teams as well. I think the thing is a map, obviously, but also teams are so willing to just go at it all the time. I'm finding on both teams so proactive, and it's really setting these like this is a key map to watch as well. There's like I feel so bad for Ben. There's like 4 things happening at the same time across like 3 different positions. But now, Tomato, we're going into a golden cap here for what was an extremely chaotic map.
To clue in everyone else, by the way, Ben is fine. Don't worry about him. He says he has a good time. We all have a good time, I suppose. I always like to segment and dissect a map into 3 sort of segments there, honestly. I mean, in the first segment of 12 to 13 minutes, it was very much dictated by a rather methodical approach, soldiers bombing in constantly, but ultimately Dirty MAGGOTS not able to seal things out. And then I don't want to talk about the second segment because this is where a spy had 5 Latronja shots into Dowie, he dropped, and then we had 10 minutes of something that I just erased from my memory. Something happened.
Yeah, no, dude, I don't know. So many things happened this map. Anything could have happened, to be honest. I would probably believe you.
Anyway, maybe to sober up a little bit and have some rectitude about it. Do you feel like there's anything really in the works here for either of those teams? I mean, I'm opening up Scoreboard, which is obviously patted a lot by post-game sort of kills, and
Yep.
it seems as if, yeah, okay. So we don't really talk about that. Again, don't really feel like it's so much, dictated or decided by a lot of the frags that are going down. It seems to be the rotations mostly.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be such a weird mid fight, right? Because you can see neither team. I think we're fully like no one is ever gonna roll out house again. I think it's so easily bombable from the very start. You can play your valley or the enemy valley super aggressively, and it's so easy to lock down, right? So instead, one thing that I wonder though is I wouldn't be that surprised if a Joker's crits comes out. I know Doey and Piggles both love themselves a crits. I think, honestly, to be honest, I think we completely missed it in all of that fight, but I'm pretty sure Piggles came out with the crits there in the end to win that golden cap. As in all of that chaos, the very end it came out. I would not be surprised if there's a world where you run a mid here, where you sort of go in onto your valley, you sit and try to play the high ground with your soldiers in around sort of the crates and sort of the hoodoos, right? And then you can run in a demo man crits across the point and try to kill everyone on mid. Then you could probably also have another crits ready pushing in onto last. Is that going to happen? Now that I've said it, absolutely not. We're just gonna get some Uber charges. Good old
I don't know.
faithful.
Could be another iconic go at it, honestly, because I'm trying to revisit my memory, and on the mid fights, it felt like the team that bombed a double soldier in usually was not the one that won that mid. I'm especially thinking where they tried to bomb the enemy medic, and then maybe they obliterated him once or twice, but it just allowed the recollapse from the enemy team, who said, okay, we're going to take that as a challenge. You take 1 out of us, we take 6 out of you, so let's go. Anyway, it's anyone's game, I feel like, so far. If you believe in the sect and the church of momentum, Dirty Maggots should have this, but Bloodsail Buccaneers, I guess they're here definitely to slay. Maybe trying to rally up around Mac, you've said it.
Yeah, I really think that this is now this golden cap is going in, discussing some mids, but I think the vibes have to be high for both teams, right? Mac exclaiming in chat that he is extraordinarily bored, waiting for his opponents to ready up, just discussing their final little plans there coming onto the middle. This is a map, we discussed it in the pregame, we didn't end up seeing it much at the game, right, with a 1-1, but a map like Badlands, you can, with a decisive mid-wipe victory, end up just cleaning a whole round pretty much instantaneously, right? You have to really be careful. So much of this can come down to really early mid-fight. I think very slowly hit Domato. I need you to give me a name, blue team or red team, this camera, that camera, let me know what's going on in your life.
In my life,
What's going on? Yep.
That's a bit of a macro perspective here. I think I'm still rooting, though. Sorry for anyone who is rooting for Bloodsail Buccaneers. I'm probably attempting toward Dirty Maggots here, since they've looked, as we progressively surpass through this map, more comfortable. So I'm giving you the name GG. We have not maybe mentioned him so much, but on the mid-fights, he seems to put himself into a position where he's relatively more protected than Mac. So usually, crits you see on a golden cap mid fight, but we only have a golden round basically. So I'm opposing your prediction. I'm saying we see 0 crits, and it's GG's progressive situation.
I think so too. Joe actually doing a very, very good job here standing in. We haven't even mentioned it at all. Normally it's Sam's playing demo for the Maggots, but Joe fits in super nicely. Obviously, a lot of experience playing in there, GG, with Voxy, with Piggles as well. Really fitting into the squad quite nicely. I think playing 2 pretty nice games, all things considered, really standing up to Mac, and I think honestly a few times outperforming him. But Mac, honestly, to be honest, also pretty good. But there we go, Domato, we are going live. This is the Golden Cap, guys. Map number 2, ETF2L, Season 50, brought to you by Manco Store, week number 4. And for one last time here, we are rolling out to middle on a Badlands here, Domato, as we need to find a winner. Map number 2.
We will find a winner as High Noon sets up, and maybe that eclipses the enemy team. Both medics run themselves counterpart in their own valley side, and it seems to be rather cookie cutter right now. Both medics on the Uber gun and already taking a sort of mirror image fight here. Slips and left, both down. No soldiers. We leave the mid.
Super nice mid there from Jordan, just bombs in, so much damage dealt, finds the kill onto Bloke, and then unfortunately for Sills, ends up eating the dirt as well. And so this is now going to give a decent early position here for the Maggots. You can see already instantly the Buccaneers are back on their last. It is even Ubers, and so far, I don't really think the Maggots have demonstrated ability to really properly break this lust hold, as you want to find some kind of way to get the force out without forcing your own Uber. And Dowie can just sit and play in his spawn. Makes it so hard to take him down, as early stickies from GG, though, get the kill onto Sylvs.
Lots of damage through main as they're tapping into that collective spirit of maybe one pick already is enough. Jordy's already having his own Patriots team up around him and have a rally to rally themselves forward here. A standard that is he's still in, snacking in through the slower lobby side and does the lift ultimately, and nothing really is found consequential. GG down, back to the respawn queue. Really tempting to push out, but well, no stickies, but you're not in any sort of proactive situation.
Yeah, so for the moment, situation very much sort of stable, right? Sentry gun up on the side of Sail, level 3, protected by the Pyro, and this gets really difficult to break, right? You can see now, I think we're probably most likely looking to some play through bottom left, but Sylvs already up, standing above, watching down. Should any funny business of a scout trying to go in, make something happen, come out. See, the pressure is going to come in anyway. KN and Boxy already kind of fancying themselves something.
Ideally, you'd endorse the enemy team to take a rather inconstant 1v1 into their own disfavor. KN tries to sack through as some accessory players were creating another flank and another sort of department where eyeballs were screwed up to, and nothing really changes in the grand scheme of things. A Pyro is brought to the front by Juno. A level 3 sentry gun is brought by Sail on his own forward. 3.5 minutes, we might strap our seatbelts here, as that might just tick down.
Yeah, Sylvs is up on the spy, just checking for off classes, making sure that the sack that comes in doesn't result in any sort of further sacks, but instead he's just going to sit back on the spy for now. But Voxy now does it really, really late, but Sylvs stays in spawn as a Voxy sniper is in through main, and he's going to be looking for one man only here.
He is spotted slowly walking forward, the long shooting marksman. Does he ultimately find a shot? Shot down, very low on HP. Also Junior reflecting idle spam away.
So we're just kind of sitting back still, right? You can see no team really choosing to be the first sort of aggressor here. It's Voxy once again going for an aggressive peek, which you kind of have to do when you're a sniper, right? You can't, unless you can force someone to sort of, on the defending team, to go onto the point, it's really hard to get any sort of really good sniper angle. I think a spy, a lot more effective of a pick class, specifically on this last point. You see KN going in as well, trying to see if he can find an angle, but instead, now it's going to be 2 down here for the side of the Maggots, and that means that they're all the way back onto second, Af holding the Spire, but you can see it is just the Buccaneers. They want nothing to do with any of it, even typing in the chat themselves. Time limit, by the way, because there is 2 minutes ticking down here on this round timer. But what we're discussing is the map timer, which they did not adjust the config for. Supposed to be 15, it's currently set to 30.
It's fine though, Prem gamers are aware. Sometimes, by the way, you're just caught in a fool's errand as you're holding last. You have 2 picks as Sylvs cratered KN on the second point. They were stickies, by the way, forward now in main from GG. They're not spotted now. Jordy, I think, did spot them, so no one is really going to peek through there. Now we have a push constantly parading upon the top right area. Seen from the defending point of view, Jordy is grilled down, set ablaze early, and then a follow-up rocket comes soon thereafter.
Yes, unfortunately, nothing really comes of that trade. It's a kill onto Jordan, which means that the aggressing team, not really able to find much of any sort of follow-up play. Level 3 gun is still just up, and this time around, the Maggots really unable to fully deal with this gun setup whatsoever, right? You can see them already back still. No further off classes coming out either. Sylvs is up on the spy and checking. Making sure, but this is just Voxy coming up on the heavy. My god.
checking, always checking. Voxtech has this fool's errand, but now it's also F running in. Dowie doesn't have 5% only, though. Separate him from ultimately having, and in its wake, it is also quelling a little bit of cap time here on the last point. It's half time up right there. Forces the Uber now, and Voxtech might be the perfect player to sort of shut down this lobby.
They only have like 30 seconds to work with, right? If they want to make this push happen, they kind of have to send it in right now. And so I think what we're going to end up seeing probably, I guess if this wasn't heavy, you would be sending in a push. But this heavy is going to move so slowly. There's 10 seconds left on the round timer. If this resets, we just go straight back onto middle. And that's just the MAGGOTS unable to find any kind of situation. They're going to try to eke this out for as long as they can. The round timer now runs out as the Strax straight in onto the point. The cap time is going to come through, and this heavy finds decent space on right side, but actually Mac with the sword kill onto his former teammate of Af. It's going to reset us the round. And I said it was the last mid-fight of the round. I was wrong. We actually get another one.
We've elicited as much progress there as we could. The double soldier is with that, because, yeah, timer ticks down, but you still have some overtime to play, since some cap time was already gained prior to that entire last push. Ultimately, Heavy maybe did not really help their efforts, but no harm done. 8.5 minutes to go. Secondary mid-fight coming up, and it is once more both mediguns used by both medics. Mac is opting for his own valley.
Oh my god! No way! He just sends it in, instantly deletes it, as Joe's found himself a 3k that GG. Oh my god. Max just decided, nah, I'm gonna go in. Unfortunately, it doesn't work at all, and this is a disastrous mid-fight here. Doe's the only one alive, he's 40%. This is gonna give the MAGGOTS a massive advantage.
Absolute crunch, as he was definitely crunching 5 players. What?
I was like, what, why did you do that? I don't understand.
Maybe they're just so comfortable on last, but they still have 30% Uber advantage. So Voxtech is only capping the Red Spire now, and they're already charging forth here. The Troika, the triumvirate of success, as F and Piggles and GG. It is ultimately enough. It's an early night when you call it out. Mech attack does sometimes attack, ultimately does not protect though. 1-0 on Badlands, finally, for Dirty MAGGOTS. A 2-0 in terms of total maps.
You know, in the name of science, I guess I am happy to see that mid in action of Mac going booties and like taking a buff and double sticking into enemy valley. But I'm also not surprised that it meant that his team instantly lost the map. Never do that again. That's such a weird. Okay, this was such a weird map, Tomato, because we watched 30 minutes of pure chaos, and then 5 minutes of a golden cap of holding last, and then we go to mid, and Mac decides that he wants to go to sleep. Yeah, sure.
I mean, do you still think that this is reality, you know? It's so ambiguous. It's a twilight zone. You've been sleeping in. It's 2025. Prolands never was back. I suppose, though, it is back. And that's a very interesting, not even anticlimactic, but definitely fitting last mid-fight. And it nets Dirty MAGGOTS a 6-pointer, which helps their efforts definitely to reach into the playoffs. I don't think there's so much point in pointing out the final logs here for 7.5 minutes of Golden Cap Prolands. Sylphs tops the charts with 5 kills. We don't have those logs. It doesn't matter.
You just have to believe the
not matter.
Actually, can I make it up? Can I just like make up logs?
Mac has 45 kills.
You know, in a weird way, like I'm gonna choose to believe that that's the truth. Yeah. No, this was a really fun game to watch. I'm so happy we're back on Badlands. I hope that those 5 minutes of last holding are not symptomatic of how this map is going to end up playing out in the future. I hope this is a result of teams not having quite figured out how to properly pressure the point, perhaps. There's a lot of space behind the point, and I think that's supposed to allow for a bit more flank play, but it is still, you know, that tiny little corridor could still be very easily locked down by a couple of soldiers. But I think Buccaneers end up taking a singular point, which Tomato can end up being quite crucial in the playoff race. But I think they put up a very good fight. You know what this excites me for? If they're playing like this online against each other, I cannot wait to see what happens on LAN.
Do you think we have a LAN coming up when?
Oh my god, we might have a LAN coming up. Look at the tables already, right? We got those up as Ben PL himself has decided to go up and screenshot them for us with a print screen. But yeah, we do have a LAN coming up. This is obviously also all of the teams you see on your screen now will be going to LAN in less than a month. By the way, Tomato, we're gonna all be going to Stuttgart. The three of us on production as well, Ben PL included, as all of the teams you just watched. And here's the thing, you know this about LAN, right, Tomato? You go to LAN, everything's even more chaotic. Crazy over there.
It's ebullient with an enthusiasm. It's wonderful. It's crazy. We have a lot of storylines, I think, already. Just lining up on the horizon. But I just want to recap in 1 to 2 sentences. Very interesting, wonderfully methodically mapped out and played. Metalworks, some Prolands map was also in there. It was definitely something to watch for the viewers, I'd say. But thanks to the players from me. This is my last sentence. Feel free to wrap it up, and yeah.
Shout outs to Manco Store.